Hello. So today I am going to talk about Node.js testing, specifically HTTP API testing. How you can test your API endpoints in Node.js. Suppose if you are using a framework like Express or Koa or any other HTTP any other framework that is using Node.js. So before testing your APIs, you have to understand few concept of testing. So in testing we have internal end-to-end testing. We have three kinds of testing. So one is end-to-end testing, one is integration testing, and the last one is component testing or testing specific functions. So for HTTP APIs testing, what we do is we test all the functions or all the API requests we do in our APIs in our server. So suppose I have two GET requests, two POST requests, and I want to test that all of my requests is giving proper response to the user. So before sending it to the front end developer, the back end developer can test this code that this is working, that these codes are working perfectly. So to test any API endpoints, you need basically two things: a test runner library, or another thing is a JavaScript test runner. So one will test your HTTP request and one will test your JavaScript code exactly. So for those two things you can use two libraries, which is very popular. For running the test, you can use Jest. Jest library is developed by Facebook and it's very popular for testing, especially in React in front end, and you can also use it on the back end to test JavaScript code. And for testing HTTP request, there is also a library called Supertest, which is also very popular among developers, and you can use it. So how we can suppose I have an API, a get request. I have a get request API. So how I can test these two? How I can test this get API, that this is giving correct? How I can test that this is giving the exact response that I want? I am the developer and I want the correct response to the front end. So if I want to test it, I need those two libraries. So first what you need to do is you need to npm install these two libraries, Jest and Supertest, and then you need to say the Jest testing environment. In here I have declared Jest testing environment, and the modules and the folder you want to ignore. And for running the test, for starting the test you have to add another script, which is test jest. This will if you say just npm test, the jest will automatically run any file that is called, that is named in like this .test.js. okay, so this is the first initial configuration you need to do. After this configuration, you can simply go to you can create a folder tests, and you can define a file for testing. Suppose you have three different APIs, you can test them, make a different file for each of them, or you can do the testing in one file. It depends on how bigger your code base is. So here I have a simple code base, so I have all the tests written in one file. So if I go to my file, the first thing you need to do is you need to import the request from object from the super test, and your application routes such as get, post, this kind of you need to import your routes and your super test library. So then this is you need to, the first thing you can say is describe. This describe is coming from jest library, so you don't need to import it. You can jest will automatically understand what is described. So the way you describe things is that you give a name and then you write a function after that. So after writing inside the function, what you can say, it. So you can write different kind of testing function inside the describe block. There is a lot of functions that is written in jest you can use. So here what I am testing is just one API, one GET request to create a list. So I have said my request, the test it, when I'm declaring it actually means that I am writing a specific test. Inside the describe block I am writing a test. The it inside the it block, this is a test, this is a full test. So inside the it block, so you can see that inside the it block I have just requested for a get. I have just requested, I have used my app module, and I have I have did a simple get request, and I compared the status code from that request, from the response, and I have checked if this is equal, then this test will pass or it will fail. So after writing all the tests, you can just go to your command line terminal. Suppose I am going to my terminal, and I am just gonna say npm test, and jest will automatically run all of your tests. So you say I have 4 tests and all of the test has passed. So if any test fails, you will see that you will see messages in here that which test have failed. So this is a beginning introduction to the testing in the Node.js. Thanks for watching.